Welcome. Today we're going to discuss the technique shielding hammer and some of the different ways in which we can relate it to other elements of the American Kenpo system. Now keep in mind that this is not a full comprehensive list apart from it, and it's not family groupings. Rather, it's just some avenues that you can explore and take to understand the American Kenpo system a little bit better. So let's do this relationship today through the ratchet-like maneuver in shielding hammer. So if you notice, what I mean by that is we're going to be using the same weapon to do two strikes, but basically going from a long range to a short range. So if we take a look at the base technique, shielding hammer, we're doing that by going up and then hitting downward. So let's do the opposite of that. Look at something like unfurling crane, where we're basically going from a low to a high. The interesting thing to notice is that these are both done on a vertical, but we can also do it on a horizontal. Do something like gathering clouds, we're throwing the right, and now we're doing it here. The interesting thing to notice is depending on your execution, this could either be going forward and in or outward and in. So let's start combining those elements and do something like fatal deviation. If you look at fatal deviation, what we're doing is this downward forward momentum. So we're going down in this diagonal on a vertical and then moving to that horizontal with the inward. But let's do this to the outside of their body rather than the front. Do something like leaping crane. And if you notice what we're doing here, it's the same concept. We're going down and out, so we're combining those two elements and then moving into that horizontal. But just like we can go from their front to their outside, we can start changing things on us. So up to this point, we've been doing everything in front of us. Can we do it to the side? Well, that would be something like swinging pendulum, where if you notice what we're doing is we're now striking to our side. But if I can do the front and I can do the side, you guessed it, I can do it to the rear. And this would bring in something like obscure sword, or obscure wing rather, where we're going from the long to the short. But notice what I did. I didn't do the beginning. Why? Well, because this introduces the opposite concept, going from a short range to a long range. So just like we can do it to the rear, let's go back and start doing things to the front. This would be something as simple as trigger salute, where if you notice what we're doing is going from that short range to the long range on a horizontal. We can take this to the outside of the left now, do something like gripping talon, where again, we're going from that short range to the long range. But if you notice, what did the beginning do? The beginning went from that long range to the short range. And again, going from a vertical to a horizontal. So can we go back to a vertical using the short range followed by a long range? Well, yeah, absolutely. This would be something like heavenly ascent, where we're going from that short to long. Or, just like we switched before and went to their back, can we do it to our back? Well, this will give us something like circling wing, where we're going from the short to the long. But remember that anything we can do with our arms, we can also do with our legs. So let's do one more relationship, in this case, thrust and prongs, where we're now going from a short range using the leg to a long range using the leg. And keep in mind that there's obviously more relationships that you can do, but we're going to leave it up to you to explore and find those other relationships. So how did we relate shielding hammer to other elements of the American Kenpo system? Was through the ratchet leg movements. We hope this video helps you understand the American Kenpo system a little bit better. Thank you very much.